I said to him, "Oh, can I try it?" And for 5 minutes he said no, didn't he?
Yeah, he won't let you, would he?
He won't let you,
no.
And then
even I was saying no, fuck that, don't let him.
Because he didn't even do it himself at that point. He didn't even do it himself. He were holding it for somebody, and he let me have one, and he sorted it all out for me on a camera and everything.
I will fucking remember.
He got the hash ready, put the big rock on, and it were yellow as well. This rock crack anyway, and I smoked it, and it was the biggest high I've ever felt in my life. Like it was.
If you could sort of describe the impact of the feeling, how would you be able to personify it?
If you've ever sniffed cocaine, I'd describe it as 100 lines in one sitting.
Yeah. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, and it just hits you like a train. Like,
if you've ever done like cocaine, that's a good reference.
Or you imagine 1,000 energy drinks.
Or like MDMA or anything like that. Yeah. It's kind of just like a really intense proper up there high, and then all of us. It's like, because it only lasts 5 minutes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like you're talking all these fucking emotions within 5 minutes. You go all the way up
here,
all the way down. It's like mental.
Yeah, it's like literally you go from not being depressed to being the lowest.
It's such a horrible feeling. Unless you're like perpetuate and smoke more. You are eventually, inevitably going to crash and feel worse when you started.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the whole point of this, like it's fucking great, like the feeling and the impact.
I won't lie, it is a good feeling.
It kind of is.
You don't not like it.
For the first few seconds, like that's it though,
it's
innit?
like a train hits you.
But then after that though, do you agree, Aaron? Like after the first, maybe 5 seconds of having that impact, it slows off a bit.
You just need to slow your breathing down. Really, you start to breathe.
You start to want more.
You're surprised at how strong it is, and you want another one because it was that good.
Yeah,
but really, it's your receptors in your brain saying you need it.
Because it's more-ish, man. Like there's nothing I've ever.
It's
experienced.
like eating a bar of chocolate.
I've never experienced anything as more-ish as something like cocaine.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's really weird, isn't it? Like, it's really weird.
It's like
how it
you
makes
have a
you
bar.
want to do more.
You have a piece of chocolate. And then
you
chew
like
it,
that,
you let your mouth water, you swallow it,
your stomach a bit,
and then you're like, you've got the packet next to you, and it's like, right, I'm going to have another one, and before you know it, the full packet's gone, you're ringing it, you're going to the shop for another packet, and that's
exactly
what
like.
happens. That's exactly what happens.
Bravo, that's a really good analogy that I'll agree.
And the taste of it, I'll describe the taste of it from my point of view, is it tastes like, when you set a firework off, and it releases that smoke from the flare, and it goes off, and you can smell that firework smell. That smell is the taste, and it tastes a bit like petrol as well.
I'd more say that it tasted like diesel.
Diesel and like a fume.
Like it's a weird, really chemically sort of.
It is
like,
but like a smoky,
sweet almost.
Like a fireworks smell. That's all I can describe.
It's really hard. Yeah, you've probably never tasted anything like it because. You just want.
You have, but you don't know because you never tried crack like.
Even still, I don't know if there's anything that I've ever tasted like
a roll up. When I ever smoke a roll up, I sometimes can taste it.
It's a very weird taste. I don't particularly think it's a very nice taste. It makes you feel sick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
makes you feel really nauseous.
It's weird,
straight away.
but you want the taste again. Even though you don't like it.
But that's the drug part of it, and that's where it hooks you, and that's why cocaine especially is so dangerous in any form.
Yeah.
Because you are fucking, soon as you have a tiny little bit, like all of that, like all of your perception of everything goes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And your money, you look at your money, you might have $50 in your hand, and it just becomes bags of coke or rocks, doesn't it? You just look at it as more rocks. And I swear that is what like 99% of people will go through if they take that drug.
And it's like you can't really say if you've got music on. It's not the kind of drug where you'd end up wanting to listen to that music.
No, not really. It's not the kind of drug where you want to do anything, is it?
You enjoy looking at things and listening.
Just being sort of
listening to silence and
wired and like
It's so weird.
Because it only lasts for such a short period of time. It's hard to even say what you do on it, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's so weird. But don't let this curiosity get you to do it like I did.
No, definitely not.
Me.
The whole point of this is
to deter you.
Yeah, to basically tell you what it's like so you don't have to go out and try it. Like, that's the whole point of us being here and saying, look, this is what it's like. Fully, this is exactly what it's like. 100%, I'll tell you the good, the bad, and the beautiful.
Yeah.
But You know, like
it messed my family life up. Because just think at this point, everyone. I went back to my mum and dad's. I were at my parents', wasn't I?
So you were at your parents' whilst doing this, but doing it at another person's house.
Exactly, yeah.
Obviously, you can imagine parents pick up on stuff.
They could tell I was doing something, but they couldn't put their fingers on it. And my family are very, very anti-drugs, like, you know, educated, you name it.
They weren't right fond of you even smoking weed, were they?
No, they hated me smoking weed. They didn't like me hanging around with Kez because they knew
I smoked weed and
exactly.
did a bit of coke and what have you.
Yeah.
Which is, honestly, I used to say to Aaron, didn't I? It's a valid. Your mum's right. You probably don't want to be with somebody that's, you know, taking coke on a weekend and shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, you don't. At that point, I was kind of in my like party phase.
You were on the coke side of things, weren't you? At this point. Yeah,
I did have a bit of a coke binge, like prior, but I wouldn't really call that a drug problem. I don't know. Would you say that?
You had a problem, definitely.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I never really seen it as a problem. I took it too much, but I never really seen it as having a problem.
Mate, this is how bad from my perspective with Kez. Yeah, I used to go around to his house.
Altered make me want to get on it. Yeah. Anything.
The sound of a can cracking open.
I'd never take it every day though. Like, that's why it wanted
You used to have a day off of it, didn't you?
Every time. I'd never do it every day, and that was why I'd say I don't think it was an addiction, because then sometimes I'd have a couple of days off.
You did want it though a lot.
But I did want it.
It got to 5 o'clock some nights where we were just pacing, because he didn't know what to do with himself, because it was like, right, I ain't got my kids, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that, so I'm free.
Yeah, it's just... it is in that sense, it's a great way to fill your time up with something when you haven't got out, but... Like, it's such a bad thing to try fill your time with. It is. Man.
Well, I'm going to move on to the next stage now.
Please do.
This is where Kez kind of gets tied into it. Because we're very friendly with each other, we kept a lot of this stuff we were doing to wrap secret
between me and you.
Kez and that other guy in that house were the only people who knew that I tried it that night.
And I'd not tried it at this point. I'd still not tried it. Aaron had only done it out of like curiosity, effectively, and I was doing coke and like I were also taking like pills like Valium and shit. I was trying to get morphine pills and stuff and sniffing them on her. I was going proper fucked, like just totally nuclear, don't give a shit about anything anymore kind of attitude, which is again a very toxic attitude. Like, it's impossible for anybody to be able to help anyone that's in that sort of frame of mind. I hear a lot like, what can I do? My boyfriend, my girlfriend, my sister, my daughter, even my son, you know, they're going through exactly that. What can I do to help them? And it's like, well, kind of nothing, which fucking sucks, because I'm sat here telling you that you can't do anything, but that's the sort of grim reality of it. When somebody's going nuclear like that, they are that way out, aren't they? Sorry, continue on with your story, Aaron.
And one day,
so only a couple people knew about this.
I were having a shit day one day, and I wanted it again, right?
Because this is what it does. Sorry, just to quickly interject. Once you open the door, it's much easier to walk through it a second time. Once that first time's done with and over with,
few weeks.
Second time is always much easier to do it. So, sorry, Aaron, continue on.
I'd say easy a week. No, it took a week and a half. I don't know.
Were you thinking about it during that time as well? Do you think a little bit?
Yeah, but that day when I felt shit, I thought, I'm going to go see if Kez is getting on it.
Yeah.
So I went round to Kez's.
On it as in sniffing coke.
Yeah, and I asked him if he could get me some. And you could, couldn't you?
Sadly, I fucking live in a place where it's pretty synonymous with people.
And then that's when we both started like doing everything.
Yeah, because I like kind of got thrown out of my mum's then. You're talking like around about that time. It's obviously very fuzzy. It's really difficult to put a proper timeline on it, but it was around about that time I got thrown out of my mum's, and then I were like in and out of hostels and stuff. And that was when I first tried heroin by accident. So I got literally passed it in a joint by some like fucking dude who I thought it was a spliff. And very similar to your experience.
I ain't even explained my heroin experience yet.
No, we'll get to yours because I didn't sort of tell mine first to get to yours, right? Because I've kind of instigated you to do it, really.
Exactly, and I instigated him to do the other stuff, you know.
So this is kind of where we fucked each other over.
This is why we can't blame each other.
And this is why we had to leave each other for a couple of years because we were going to fucking kill each other.
Yeah, we were.
Like,
definitely.
we were too destructive together. Like, you know, we were just two mates that just didn't give a fuck about our lives.
At that point, we just
we'd lost it. And it were kind of comforting to have somebody else that were doing that same thing and being in that same way. I knew Aaron wasn't that sort of person to be, you know, taking this kind of shit. So I were looking at Aaron and he was probably looking at me and thinking, well, he's doing it, so
it's alright.
It's alright, isn't it? Obviously, what the fuck, I'll do it. So yeah, like I basically had tried the heroin by accident. Like the story loosely goes, I'd basically been coming in one night, seen a guy outside, he collared me, where are you from, mate, blah blah blah. He was smoking this like joint, it looked a long spliff, it was a spliff, it had weed in it and heroin as well. Like, you want a few drugs? I had a couple of drugs, basically, wow, that tastes funny, what the fuck's in that? He's like, oh, like weed and heroin. So I've gone back up to my room, like, what the fuck, I've like had a bit of an argument with this dude, gone back up to my room, thought, fuck it, because I started feeling proper funny and like dizzy and sort of like a bit sick and stuff. Like, as soon as I'd found out I took heroin, I started feeling really funny. Yeah. You know, like when you just, someone tells you, like, fuck, what the hell? Self-conscious. Like when you see a cut, you know, when you didn't know you had one, then you see it and it starts hurting. Like that, like, oh my god, I've just taken heroin. So I like kind of ran back to my little fucking room, but we were literally like this, but it were a mattress on the floor and it had a little fucking cabinet or something, I think. Disgusting. There were rats in the place and everything, mate. I couldn't even have food in the place. I shit you not, rats used to steal my biscuits and everything. You could hear him at middle at night. He'd wake up in the scurry Manchester Road foyer, Bradford foyer. You can Google it right now, mate. There's so many bad reviews of Bradford foyer. But that's where I first went. That was the first hostel I went because I think I was like 24 or 25 and it were a 18 to 25 year old youth hostel sort of thing. But then after that, you're not allowed to be able to get those kind of specialist sort of services. So once I'd turned 25, that's when I started really fucking up and stopped getting like that kind of proper help. But yeah, I basically tried the heroin, I went back to my room and then kind of felt alright. Like, I don't know, I felt kind of just, I didn't care about no. And I was like, wow, that's kind of what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Like, wow, I've been trying to take all these pills. You know how hard it is to get pills over here, innit? It's ridiculous. I was trying to do everything aside from getting something like heroin, which is super easy to get. And I was going well out of my way to try to get dumb shit like I say, like morphine pills and stuff. And yeah, like I knew where to get heroin from. It wasn't hard. You could literally you go on any street corner now and bump into somebody that's waiting for someone and say, oh, who you waiting for? I'll get some with you. And they'll be like, yeah, cool, no problem, that's fine. I ended up then sort of getting it in my head that it made me feel better, heroin, and you know, like it sort of quelled my depression. I didn't feel no anxiety on it, like anything. You don't feel nothing. Like, my dad once told me a while ago, like, heroin is literally the kind of drug where you'll be in bed poorly because you haven't got any, you'll be freezing, you'll have, like, a major, like, flu-type symptoms, feeling really sick, poorly, can't get out of bed, then I smoke some heroin, and then boom, within 5 minutes, whilst you're smoking it, you're up, top off, out in snow, red hot, woo! That's literally what it's like, it's insane, like... That's how badly it grips you, you know what I mean? Like, that's how people...
Depending how you are with it.
Very true. We spoke to somebody earlier that, you know, that is a high-functioning sort of addict. He used a different word than addict, but I'd like to say high-functioning addict. And I've always found that to be bizarre because my head was absolutely west when I took that. So that's basically about where you need to be for Aaron to continue on from that.
Then one night we were doing stuff together, weren't we? And Kez finally broke out and told me the secret about his heroin.
Because at this point again, nobody knew. Aaron was the first person that I'd told and the only person that knew.
And so Kez he pulled some out,
which I'm not proud of this part at all.
No, obviously, no,
I'm really fucking not.
And
I'm glad for one bit, and I'll tell you why. Sorry. Go on.
And he pulled it out, and he asked me if I wanted some. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll try it."
Because the thing is, like the way that heroin gets marketed to people, at least,
the disgusting drug.
The way that I got it marketed to me is, oh, this drug's really good if you're smoking crack. because you can literally like have crack and be like really wired and be jittery, then smoke heroin because it's so strong.
Yeah.
It'll take over all that wired feeling, and you can go to bed afterwards. So in that sense, that's how people get you with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
well,
that's probably what I was saying to you about it.
It did. You were like, oh, it just chills you out. You know, it'll bring you down off. It'll bring you down off the.
It'll make you feel way better. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
bring you down off the other stuff.
That's such a disgusting, disturbing thing to think about.
So he gave me it, and I was trying to do it, and I kept messing it up to start with. I kept burning it, didn't I?
I couldn't even burn it properly at that time.
I didn't even know what I was doing with it either. I took some, and then I had some in a joint. And it's got to be the most disgustingest, dirtiest, awful, smelliest, rankest drug I've ever taken.
Would you say heroin tastes like?
You can't put a word on it.
It smells disgusting, but it tastes like
horrible.
It tastes like toxic sludge. Like I imagine like what toxic sludge
radioactive waste.
Yeah,
like swear to God.
You know, like. Maybe have you ever put like a penny in your mouth when you were a child and had that like nasty coppery taste? Let's be honest, we've all tried to taste a penny before. It's kind of like that, but with an extra toxic twist to it.
If anyone's been round a welder before, it smells similar to a welder.
True. Yeah, and sometimes it smells really fishy. Sometimes it can be really salty.
Yeah.
And like really in the back of your throat. It can feel like you've got like a line of film in the back of your throat that's like this horrible taste.
Yeah.
Till you have like a proper drink or something and like gargle it.
It was disgusting.
It is fucking horrible. It makes all your hands go black and lot.
I was sat on the step one night and you were asking me if we're alright.
Yeah, because
I told Kez I didn't like it.
Aaron's body did not agree with heroin at all. You don't agree with it.
Made me feel sick, nauseous.
Which is a very interesting side note. I said this earlier on Reddit, but there's only like a certain percentage of people that can actually take something like heroin, because a lot of people will feel sick and just instantly have a bad trip, for a lack of a better term. So
that was just the first time, and then the second time I tried it, if you remember, I was sat on a step and I would just eyes half shut and I would half asleep in midair for about an hour, and it felt like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that is very, very true, mate. Do you know, time is not a thing when you're on that.
No.
Like, you can go through 6 hours and like feels like nothing's even happened. Like, it's crazy. That's why it's the ultimate sort of drug for people that are, you know, like down and out and don't know what the heck to do with themselves. And effectively, it's like it all bears down to free time, doesn't it? Having free time and not knowing what the fuck to do with it. And this is why everybody preaches about having hobbies and stuff like that, because it is really important to be able to fill your free time with like just healthier sort of things. But any more of your story to continue, Aaron?
Yeah, I got to the point where I tried it for a second time.
Bad trip, second time.
And you've got to bear in mind in all this, I was halfway to getting addicted.
Yeah, you were already kind of on your way. You were already hella susceptible to it.
Yeah, and then, you know, me and Kez ended up he was somewhere pretty far away from me, wasn't he? And he didn't have a car out, and we couldn't exactly see each other. And then I ended up doing a test online, and I moved to Indonesia within 2 weeks.
I didn't see you, did I then? I didn't see you for a while. I don't know what happened. I kind of went west. Aaron kind of went west, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we just didn't see each other for a bit, did we? And then you...
my head was that messed up. I'm just looking for jobs to go away abroad.
Yeah. Good fucking idea, mate. That was one of the best things you did do.
Yeah, I was surrounded by literally drugs everywhere. Yeah, and I wanted to get out of it. So
honestly, I'm proud of you for being able to break out of that like that.
Mad.
To have that, you know, like that foresight at that time is honestly fucking incredible.
And another
really
good thing, I went to a country where you get the death penalty for having
weed.
drugs.
Yeah, for weed.
I wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah. Mate, well, that's really cool.
I went to Indonesia and I went cold turkey on everything, and I was working within a week.
Wow, man.
Yeah, man, in 50-degree heat with food poisoning and cold turkey sickness too. In the middle of a country, left my family and everyone behind.
Left everyone.
Didn't know where my kid was.
You don't know language. You don't know where your kid was. Fucking hell, fire, man.
Crazy. I thought, right, I'm off. And then what made me come back was...
Thank you for the question, Jess.
Oh,
what made you come back?
I was just going to tell you that.
Aaron can't quite see it because snowballs in way it chats.
It's alright.
I can't actually see that.
What made me came back was this could be another stream to tell you all, because it turned out the company I worked for were the Chinese mafia, but I'll tell you about that
Well, talk about that later.
another time, because that's very interesting.
Well, listen, after this conversation, remember, if anybody's interested, ask us and we'll tell you about it after this.
Exactly,
what made you come back?
But that was one of the reasons, and another reason...
So one of the reasons for literally the people you were working for were hella dodgy.
I kept checking up to see if my kid's mum had unblocked me on Facebook.
Yeah.
And she did unblock me because she found out that I left the country. And I just had a feeling that I could see him again.
Your kid?
I came back and I could see him again.
So you basically came back to see your little son, didn't you?
Yeah, I came back, did my driving test and everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Because when you come back, you weren't even like really smoking weed.
I didn't smoke weed, no. I was clean for ages.
You've gone literally fully clean, didn't you? Teetotal. Which, I mean... Fucking hell! If we can get some congratulations in the chat there for that, because bloody hell, going cold turkey is fucking difficult. That's one thing.
In Indonesia, it was worse.
I bet it was.
It was disgusting. I've never been as poorly in my life, man. I swear down.
In like proper humid heat.
Yeah, and my roommate at the time was the biggest pussy ever, and he threw up everywhere, right? And I had to go to work, and he was blobbing. Other side of the world and his blobbing work.
No way.
And I'm like, I have to fucking do it. So I got up, cold turkey sickness, food poisoning, you name it, and I cleaned his sickle.
Thank you, Sheila, and thank you, Lena. We got some congrats. in the chat.
And I started smoking weed again because I came back from Indonesia. I got a decent job.
You were working. Where were you working at again?
A place called Airedale Engineering.
What were you doing there, sir?
I was running a machine. 2 machines it was.
We have lots of like big factories like that, don't we?
And I was running like a big CNC machine, and it made shapes in metal, and then it gave the parts, and I had to sort the parts out and take.
Really? Cool.
Put them through another machine. Anyway, right. Long story short, I grafted my ass off there for 7 days, sometimes a week. I dedicated myself to it. I didn't smoke weed because I know they were going to drug test me, which is why
you said the other day, didn't you?
I said this morning to someone, get a job where you get a drug test, because it's a kick up your ass to stop it.
I'll keep you off it. I
stopped smoking weed for the job and everything. And then about 6 months later, I was just about to do my driving test. I bought my car, my first car, BMW 3 Series, and it was beautiful car,
silver, beautiful, fast as shit.
And this lass came down from the office, and I were having to show her some stuff.
Yeah.
And I asked her what thickness of metal was, and she started screaming at me. So I went and recorded her.
Shit!
And because I was working through an agency still. The HR department sacked me.
What the fuck?
Because she went to the HR department and said I was showing her pornography on my phone.
Wow.
When I didn't, because I've got a blocker on my phone, so my son can't go on that kind of stuff.
What the fuck,
right? And she lied and got me sacked.
Fucker.
So if anyone does know anyone in Airedale Engineering, Airedale Group, then please tell him the truth. Like, that's what happened to him, and he was the hardest worker in that bloody place.
That is fucking well bad, man. As if you got fucking sacked for that shit.
The day I got sacked, I relapsed.
I can attest, mate. Aaron would never do that fucking shit.
Nah, not to a lass. It's embarrassing, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Embarrassing
it's a bit weird as well.
You don't want to even show like porn that you've been watching to one of your mates, do you?
No,
it's fucking embarrassing as fuck.
That's it. And then I sacked, and then that day that they rang me up, I relapsed and got an 8 for hairs.
Right, so it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah,
you can't be blamed. You can't be blamed for that. I think, honestly, with everything that's just been said there, I honestly think that getting back on the weed is probably not a bad thing. I had to do
something.
Not a bad thing. It could be fucking worse.
A week later, I passed my driving test, so I was back on the road, but I had a car to run now with no job.
Ugh.
So that, I was struggling.
Very expensive to run a car.
I was struggling to pay my insurance because that was £240 a month.
How much were you putting in, like fuel and road tax and
£100 a month in fuel, and because I saved up obviously because I did quite well.
Yeah, you were doing well.
And my savings, and I got in debt with credit cards and credit. I still haven't managed to pay them, so my credit's gone knackered now.
Yeah, now the credit rating fucks you all.
I was 3 stone lighter than what I am now. I were always clean shaven. I was just always in a happy, positive mood. And it's just hard to stay on top of that when all this shit's happened here.
So that's why, mate, we are getting back on it. We are going to get Aaron back in one of those free series.
This is why sometimes I'm not being ignorant on the stream with Kez or anything. I'm just a bit down in the dumps or whatever if I'm not speaking.
That's
the truth.
Kind of why we're getting him here, you know, like, Aaron, I don't know how personal you want to get, but he's going through a rough patch right now, like, you know, just without going into too much detail.
Oh, yeah, man.
You know, can't be asked with all that, but, you know, like, yeah, so, we know, it's hard, you've got to sort of keep on top of things, aren't you, and it is difficult, isn't it?
It's so hard, man.
It's difficult. What were you going to say something about that job, though? What are you done now with that? With Airedale Engineering?
Oh yeah, what I did last week anyway. I rang Airedale Engineering, see if they'd set me back on, right? And I got in touch with the actual company, and then they put me through to the HR. Then HR put me through to the agency, and they set a new agency from what I was using before, so I didn't know how to get in touch with them, you see. So they sent me in touch with the agency, write professional email, tag the agency guy in the email. So I'm like, alright, looks promising. Nearly £12 an hour, so it's jumped up £1 in a year wage. I were on £11 before, it's nearly 12 now, so it's like £11.90 or something.
Nice.
Got my hopes up, and apparently now they're not taking on people they used to take on before, what's already worked there. But 2-3 months ago, I went up regarding a job there to my old manager, and the only reason I didn't take the job is because it's a machine what I can't get my head round. It's called a folding machine. You need to fold metal to a certain depth and angle, and that I can't do it. I've tried and I can't do it. It's just one of them things. I'm good with computers and stuff like that, not a machine like that. So
it sounds like a tough job, to be honest.
And they said I couldn't have the job, so I sent them an email this morning, and I can read the email actually out to you guys if you want, because I think you might actually like it.
Give it to us.
Yeah, I'll get it up now. I sent it when I was just sat thinking about Airedale this morning.
But I tell you what, instead, quickly, because we're on addiction stories, so you were saying that you went cold turkey and stuff, like, what kind of made you decide to want to do it that way? You know, like, what made you just think, fuck it, right, I need to, like, just totally cut all this shit off? What were there anything?
Well, before I went to when I went to Indonesia, I didn't have a choice.
What happened in that sort of, you know, like that time span where you were thinking about going to Indonesia, and what made you want to do that? Because
of all the shit going on.
Yeah,
I was surrounded by drugs.
Wanted to totally get away from
I was
things.
surrounded by just stuff I didn't want to do.
Do you think that if you'd not been able to get to Indonesia, what do you think would have been the outcome?
I don't have a clue, because I came back and my head was fresh, which is when I got the job at Airedale, you see. I started fresh, it were a clean slate, I recharged my batteries, I were away in another country for like 3.5 months.
A lot of people do say that that's like a really good way to sort of combat addiction in general.
It really is.
Like literally going to another country and just getting the fuck away.
Trust me, it is.
Do you think you'd have been, do you think things would have been different if you hadn't gone to Indonesia? If so, what way?
I think I would have ended up in a mental institution.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would have got sectioned, to be quite fair.
Because you actually did have some serious...
Yeah, I was going mental. Kez once told me, I went to his house one morning, and he said, "Could you hear that guy screaming last night?" And I said, "That were me." And it were like 7 police jumped on me trying to get me a van because I bloody... I'll be honest, I used to self-harm and stuff. Not anymore.
We've got trigger warning in, so you're fine. Everybody needs to know trigger warning.
I used to self-harm and stuff, which is why I've got that tattoo there. So I've got scars going through it.
Aaron really nearly got close to doing it. Like, he's got a fucking right scar.
I've got scars all over my arms, man. Like, you know, look at that. And then, you know,
thank you for telling us, Aaron. Thank you for sharing that.
And you can stop it. You just need to make a promise to yourself, like you don't want to do that to yourself again. That's all it is. Or someone who you care about, and make a promise to them that you're not going to do it. But what was the question again?
So like, what kind of made you, you know, like stop? Sort of, what got you out of that frame of mind? You know, like, because I guess, you know, when you're in that frame of mind where you're doing things like self-harm, you're being self-destructive. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's really difficult to sort of, you know, be objective and step back and look at yourself and be like, whoa, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
So what was it that made you sort of get that sort of fucking feeling?
Well, at first, I went to Indonesia. That helped out. And then I didn't do it for ages.
But I'm thinking, like, what about the lead up to Indonesia?
Oh,
so like
what were I thinking?
Yeah, what, like, you know, like before
I was shitting myself.
So when you were like, obviously you'd been doing all these things. What got you to the point where you thought, right, I really need to stop this? Like, was there anything that made you?
I didn't have the thought saying I need to stop this. Okay. I had the thought. I need to get away from here.
Right.
I didn't have the thought that I didn't have to stop
you.
it. It was weird. It's two different thoughts.
That's exactly what I'm trying to ask. Thank you.
Yeah, and then
can you elaborate on that a little?
Yeah, really. Well, like as it was coming up to it, like I just had enough.
Yeah.
I just wanted to leave.
I can relate to that. I can relate to that.
And I just wanted to leave, and that's what I did. And then when I came back from Indonesia, I started smoking weed again. And then I got the job at Airedale after 2 months of being back in England, and I just went totally cold turkey again for that company, specifically for that company.
Right.
And I stopped weed on the head, sleeping at my uncle's on a 4-foot couch when I'm 5'7", cold turkey, and again through a week getting up at 20 to 5 in the morning.
So it seems like you are the kind of person that kind of needs some kind of structure, right?
Yeah,
you need like a routine in it. You need like some
if I don't have a routine, it screws my life.
Yeah. Having a routine, I think, is incredibly important to not only sort of protecting yourself from addiction, but getting out of it too, right?
Exactly.
You know, like to get out of addiction, it's sort of about changing that routine. Addiction is a routine. It's just a really negative, toxic routine that you've got yourself in. And you know, that can be anything. That's why you can be addicted to gambling, like, you know. And
I've been smoking weed now for about 2 years.
Do you regret smoking weed?
Yeah, of course I do. I wish I didn't start smoking it again. But I say that, but through lockdown, what would I have done? You know,
a lot of people would agree, I think.
Would I just have sat there, woke up in the morning? At least when you're high, everything's 10 times better. Music, films, food, you name it, everything's just 10 times better. So I'd rather get pissed all day on beer. I'll get stoned, so it would just, I'll get high then on weed, you know.
I mean, this is the thing, like, I don't know about you, chat, what do y'all think about, like...
Yeah, let me know what you think about everything I've said.
The weed and, as well, sorry, if anybody's got any questions that they'd like to ask, anything that they'd like to add, Jess says there, some party, some congratulations. I've seen people going cold turkey and it looks so awful, it's so easy to give it, so give into it, so it shows how strong you are,
and I think I'm a weak person, and I honestly do.
I would say the same about myself.
It's just I give up, not give up, but I mean, like, I cave in too easy nowadays. Something just sends me over the edge like that.
I think though, over this sort of period of time, you'll have probably learn ways to cope with that and to be more resilient. At the end of the day, the way I see it, bro, I'll be straight up fucking 100% honest with you, You've been going through a shit time right now and you're handling it really, really well.
Do you know what it is? Do you know?
I know your head's fucked with it. I know it is.
I know, but
you are handling it so well.
My mental conscience, I was thinking that yesterday, right?
I have to just say that.
I think it's because, long story short, I just split up with my girlfriend last week.
You've been with her a while now.
2 years. She was my first girlfriend since my kid's mum. You know?
So
that was 5 years, big 5 year gap.
Deal, big fucking deal.
But I think it's just because I've been through that much shit. I think my self conscience is just blocking out the emotions of it. I hadn't cried once. I hadn't done nothing.
No.
You know, it's weird as all. I've never felt this calm about a situation in my life. So weird. I mean,
and I think that speaks to your resilience again. I think that speaks to the coping mechanisms that you've obviously learnt and developed over the years. Because I think we can all say that breakups are ridiculously tough.
I haven't spoke to her either. We haven't spoke at all, really.
Oh, damn it, crazy. That's what I mean. It honestly shocked me. It was a massive shock to me when I like heard that from him. You know, like, wow, what the fuck. And obviously, I'm sure you felt fucking the same, right?
Yeah, but it's not like it's because I've gone out and cheated or all
No,
like
you haven't
that.
done anything wrong.
I'm not guilty. That's why I don't feel bad about it.
No, that's true. Aaron's done nothing wrong. He actually genuinely has done nothing wrong. If anything, actually, it's the opposite way around.
I just received a text message from my kid's mum about some hot sauce in Aldi.
I mean,
and she thinks I'm on a big...
fucking conspiracy,
friendly relationship.
Conspiracy to get back with her and marry her, and run off in a sunset with a girl that literally fucking nearly destroyed his life. I mean.
So why would
the
I?
The irony of it is just ridiculous.
You should have asked me to get you one.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, I'm chatting away. Sorry, everybody. I mean, fucking. And what do you think, like, over this period of time, then? What do you think sort of changed in your attitude, possibly, that hasn't made you want to turn even just something like, I don't know, like cocaine or alcohol. Why haven't you done that?
Yeah,
now?
I'm glad you just rejogged my mind.
Wicked, thank you.
Even though I haven't touched crack in, it's got to be touching 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah, I mean we're in 2021.
Yeah,
now,
so it's 2017, 2018.
I mean we're at least 2
4 years ago.
At least 2 years ago since I did that.
So 4
way
years
before me.
And even now, I'll lay in bed sometimes, and it's like I could smoke some crack today, and that's bang truth that. But I don't, and I could just go to a local junkie in town and say, "Go get me some."
Yeah.
But I don't. So that's where the addiction part comes into it. Even though I haven't touched it in that long, and I half were addicted to halfway.
Yeah, you were nearly there. You were nearly there.
I still get thoughts about it, but I don't do it.
Yeah.
But
does that not go to show of how powerful those kind of drugs are? That even
powerful.
5 years later of not doing it, you're still getting those flashes.
Still get that
and
feeling.
Those triggers, like I go on about these triggers and you get them, don't you?
That's it, yeah.
I mean, Aaron didn't even do it for that long, really. You were doing it like for 6 months or something.
Yeah. It was a 6 month period. And that one every day. That was just like every other day. Every other day.
And it was like at the start, not so much, and it gradually built up rather than it being like intense, wasn't it? It wrote, like you were just, I don't know, you were just going to say in like 2 months, because it were only like 2 months for you being really intense on it.
Oh, yeah.
There were like the remainder of that, you weren't really like on it. You were taking it, but you weren't like fucked on it.
No.
Nobody knew and nobody could tell. You know,
that's
like,
it, yeah.
So it wasn't one of those.
Say that. People could start to tell from how rough me and you started looking.
This is it. It's evident, innit?
Yeah.
You can
just
tell.
Can't tell in your face.
Because I actually got told by one of my dad's friends. It was when I like sorted myself out again. It was recently, in fact, like a year ago, in 2020. And my dad's friend looked at me and he's like, "Oh bloody hell! Your eyes are glimmering and shining again." He's like, "That's the serotonin. When you take those drugs, crack and heroin, it depletes your serotonin and that shimmer in your eyes goes. You lose that. Yeah. I can see it back again. I can tell that you're clean again by looking at your eyes." And I'm like, "Wow, that's a really powerful."
My mum
method.
said the exact same about it.
Your mum's fucking intuitive as fucking really.
She's kind of likes you now.
A little bit more, because I did grow up and sort my head out as well.
She didn't like you
and definitely felt like some personal responsibility for Aaron's situation too.
My mum's seen Kez when he was like at the height of it somewhere. She's seen you, right?
Yeah. And that were a bad time to see me.
And then about probably
didn't like me. Fuck.
When we were at Whitby the other week, I don't know if you were watching, but when we were at Whitby the other week, what is it? I took a Snapchat of Kez eating his fish and chips, and I'll show you it. I've got it on my phone, but he's eating his fish and chips, but it looks so funny. And my mum thought I was videoing a stranger.
No way.
That's how much he's changed.
Bloody
hell. And she said, and my mum's known Kez since he was like 10-year-old.
Yeah, literally a little kid. And
she showed me dad it, like, look at Aaron videoing a stranger, and my dad went, "That's Kez."
Oh my god! No way, because I know your dad. Me and your dad are cool. Me and your dad have always been cool. Because your daddy's sound, he's a fucking sound.
Yeah, he likes you.
Like, we were on about bloke earlier. His dad is the absolute definition of top bloke, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's a proper, just a top bloke. Like, that bloke part, he's such a, the banter, seriously, the banter with Aaron's dad is fire. Like Gollum in his cave, I reckon. Yeah, seriously, that's how you get with it. With the addiction. Are you on about with my fish and chips? Yeah, Aaron's just gonna find it.
I'm trying to find it somewhere.
It's really funny. When we was in Whitby and we took a little half an hour break to go get some food. But yeah, holy shit, man, that is wild. So yeah, Aaron, you never really went bad on the heroin then, did you?
No, not really.
It was really a good thing, I think, because like heroin use is effectively what grabs a lot of people. Like, don't get me wrong, for a lot of people, the crack totally grabs them too.
Yeah,
but,
it does.
You don't typically wake up in the morning feeling poorly without crack, whereas heroin you do, and like when they're selling both at the same time, it's just kind of like what you do in it. But yeah, I mean, how do you find it? Fish and chips, my precious. Yeah, in it. Yeah, so funny. I've got an interesting question for you though, Aaron. How do you find it, like living in, Bradford, the sort of same place that you had your addiction, and possibly seeing, like other day you said you walked past somebody that were smoking crack in my fucking hallway.
That just freaked me clean out. Like,
I bet it did with a bally on.
Yeah. Like proper freaked me out.
I mean, come on. How do you find it living in Bradford then? How do you find it difficult or?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I feel very similar. I don't like living here too much because of many stresses and so many situations that you just like get into just anywhere, and you see all these people that you used to know, and it all gets a little bit it can be a little bit funky, man. We need to get out of here, ladies and gents. Please share this stream. Oh my gosh. Anybody got any questions? Has anyone got any questions?
Yeah, let us know.
So yeah, if you're curious about anything that we've spoke about, or if you've got any input, I would really like to hear what y'all think about that. Would really love to hear any thoughts that you've got on the matter. If you have got any questions, maybe there's something that you're interested about pertaining to the story, then please feel free to fire it at us. But otherwise, I really appreciate y'all sitting through that. That was like a good 40 minutes or so.
I can't bloody find it.
If everybody doesn't mind, we may possibly upload this to YouTube, so we can get some hello YouTubes in the chat, or goodbye YouTubes in the chat if you want, because we're probably going to end the recording now. Or did I miss it? Question from Discord. Okay, that's a very good question. Let me just get that question up, Jess. Sorry, 1 second, lovely. Where are we? Let's have a look. Right, Aaron, I've got a great question for you, brother. You ready?
Yeah, man.
Oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh no, I can't find it. I can't find it. Can you remember the question? Don't do that. Yeah, I can't actually find. Wait. Okay, yay! I found it, Jess. Don't worry. Aaron, how would you feel if the UK government followed other countries' examples of giving free needles to users and having a safe space to use the drugs, with all drugs being legalised at the same time? So okay, there's a few things to unpack there, right?
Yeah.
So first and foremost, there is already a system in place where you can go to the chemist and get free needles. You can get free foil to smoke your heroin on.
Yeah.
I think everything you can get pretty much everything that you need, to mix the heroin, like the vitamin C or the ascorbic acid. You can get the little sterilised tubs with a filter that's sterilised. Everything, literally, there'll be everything at the chemist. You just need to walk in and ask for it. That's it. That's how I used to get mine. So everybody gets theirs in Bradford. So we already do have a system like that. And how do you feel about that, Aaron?
Yeah, well, it's better than AIDS getting spread and hepatitis. And
I've seen some documentaries and videos about drugs and people smoking heroin and shit. And have you seen some they're doing it on dirty, mixing it on the bottom of a dirty, rusty can?
Yeah, dirty.
It stops all of that. You don't have to share needles. You don't have to reuse a needle, which is
stops spreading disease the most of all.
Most importantly, it stops the spread of disease, things like hepatitis and stuff are so easily got through, sharing needles and stuff.
In regards to legalising drugs, I'm all for it as long as it's got to be regulated. You know? And got to do it basically cheap enough in America or on the NHS, so it wipes the dealers out.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point there.
Because
if it isn't better than what we're already able to get, people are not going to buy it, are they?
Exactly. If they can go get some rocket fuel from the chemist, and they can go get that, and it'll wipe them out for all day, and it'll cost them £5, or they can go to the dealer and pay 15.
Yeah,
to get some bashed up stuff with rat poison and rest stuff that dehydrates death out of you. What
nearly gonna kills you.
You're gonna choose the bloody thing, aren't you?
Yeah, and I mean that in my opinion also would definitely be better. I mean, the clear fact of it is people are already doing drugs, people are already selling drugs. At this point, the illegalization or the criminalization of drugs in general isn't working, is it?
No, not really.
The war on drugs is not. It's not working.
No, it's not.
Like, I'm sorry, but we've got to the point now. Like you say, following other countries' examples, we've got other countries around the world that have done things like this. As in the place in Canada, there's like I think it's Canada. I'm not 100% sure. It might be the States, but there's like a centre, where everybody can go in, and like there's literally nurses on site that will do everything for you. They'll mix it up for you. They'll put it into the needle. They'll do everything, but actually jab you with it. But they'll tell you how to do it properly. They'll tell you you're doing it right because you can get it into an artery and stuff. And if you pull the wrong colour blood back and stuff, it can be really, really bad.
Really?
Yeah. So if it's red, go ahead. If it's pink, stop and think. That's the one. Yeah. If it's red, go ahead. If it's pink, stop and think.
Wow.
So if your blood is red. Because when you take a syringe, you pull a little bit of blood back first to make sure, and if that's red, then you pump it, blah. And then if it's pink, though, you need to pull it out.
And what does pink mean?
You've hit an artery, which is not good. You don't want it to go into an artery. You want it to go into a vein. If you put it into an artery, it'll blow up your arm, make your arm go massive.
Wow.
And you'll have a very bad reaction to it. Also,
you'd probably have an heart attack, wouldn't you?
Very, very likely. There's also things like you can get something what we call a dirty dig, where it's like basically when you've mixed it up, the heroin, if you've got a bit of ash or something, and you mix whilst you do it, you've got a fag in your mouth or something, and then you pull it up, or you don't put the needle in the what is it, the little filter thing, like a little cigarette filter, like just a little bit of cotton. If you don't put it in that properly, you can pull up a bit of dirt or something. That's the whole point of the thing, that you put on the end of the needle.
That's a dirty dig.
To filter out all the dirt. So if you accidentally do get some dirt in, like sometimes you can put the needle all the way through the filter and it'll hang out and you'll get all the dirt in.
Right, yeah.
So if you get all that, mate, it'll fucking absolutely wreck you all day. You'll have a horrible headache. You'll feel poorly and shit. Yeah. So it's really, really dangerous, man. Yeah. Not to mention that we ain't even got into talking about overdoses and stuff yet either. Like off one dealer you might pay $5 for a 0.6, which you can do in one, which is fine and you're okay. Then the next dealer you'll pay $5 and get a 1.0, it's like nearly twice as big, but you paid the same amount, so you presume it's the same amount, right? Yeah. You do all that in one, then boom, that's it. You've gone over, you're dead. Literally, that's how it happens, because obviously drug dealers are in cahoots with each other and saying, right, we need to regulate it and all do a gram for this. People just do it for what they pay for it. If they've paid 300 quid, you're gonna get a big bag. 300
quid's worth.
Yeah, you're gonna get a bigger bag, and they're gonna try put bigger bags out to eliminate the custom. I definitely think that legalization, regulation. Lots and lots of safety. Like Aaron said, I think it would need to most certainly be like cheaper, or at least like easier to get and of the same quality at least.
Yeah.
There needs to be something that
it'd probably be better quality if it were government made. It'd be cleanest heroin people have ever taken.
Yeah, and I mean that'd even be better for people, because I've heard doctors say that taking pure opium, for example, every day
Mali
isn't actually bad for you. Like people in China and stuff, they go smoke opium every day, they're fine.
Yeah.
They live, till they're 100. Sorry, energy drink burp.
Energy drink burp, man.
Sorry.
That's getting me high.
Yeah, I love my energy drinks. But how would you feel about all drugs being legalised at the same time?
I think it'd collapse society.
Why?
I think because everyone would be like, bloody hell, I'm going to go get MD'd out of my head today.
Do you really think?
Yeah, but I think people would.
I don't. Look at a place like
younger
Amsterdam,
lads,
for example.
Yeah, but younger lads, I mean like younger people
but
in this country.
Would you not agree that younger people in this country are already doing that anyway? They're already going through that phase where they're going to be curious because all the mates are taking it anyway. So would you not prefer those kids to be at least getting it from the government?
It just depends, doesn't it? Because say Homewood, for example, is like a very rough estate near here.
It's using a really rough estate as an example.
Yeah. So on purpose. Yeah. So say Homewood, you legalise crack and everything, yeah. And then you give it to 16-year-olds on that estate. You won't imagine what's going to happen.
16-year-olds don't take it, and that's where regulation comes in, because you'd have to be a certain age. You'd obviously have to go to your doctor. You know, that's where...
Yeah, if that were the case,
that'd be where regulation would have to come in.
It'd create jobs because they'd have to set on more doctors.
Legalising it has, like, different levels. Like, there's legalising it for, like, recreational use, that's the one where it's like, okay, this shit's fine. Go wild, everybody. That's, like, kind of that, which has kind of happened in Colorado, at least with weed, I think. If I'm wrong there, please correct me, but they've kind of just said, yeah, fuck it, go for it, weed, just go wild, do what you want with it.
Right.
Like, fully recreational.
That'd be chilling, mate, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And they are chilling. Colorado's chilling their Philippine heads off right now. They're getting some of the best weed that they've ever
Domino's
smoked.
Is making a fortune.
Exactly, yeah, innit? I bet they are.
You know, that's what they don't think of, innit? Like, the boost of the economy.
Thank you,
You know,
exactly,
if everyone, like, say, if half the country goes out on a weekend and gets drunk, then half the other population, younger generation like us, just get stoned. You know, they're going to make money on the beer, and they're going to make money on takeaways.
That's another interesting one. Even if people are thinking to themselves, all right, MDMA is legal, for example, or crack's legal, I'm going to go try it. Like, even still, like, I think that person, you could safely say, was already susceptible, because you do have to be in a state of mind to want to take it.
Yeah, to want to take it,
I
guess.
You do.
But say if I were 15 or 16...
wouldn't you prefer that person to be able to get it from somewhere proper?
Oh, yeah, too right, you would. Yeah.
You would, yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't think it'd... I mean, I do think for some people it may sort of at least encourage them slightly to want to go take it, because it's maybe easier to get. But even at the same time, I think even if that is the case, like, if they're old enough, if they're educated, then I think, you know, adults should have the free will to be able to experiment with drugs if they want. You know, like things like psychedelics and stuff, things like cannabis. At the end of the day, they let everybody drink alcohol, right?
Yeah,
so,
it's daft.
Like, you know,
the amount
just
of stuff I seen last night on way home, just people.
Same. I went to the shop with my dad, didn't I? Because my dad was
times.
fucking pissed out of his head and he wanted to go to the shop.
We walked with 11:30 or something.
It was late, wasn't it? Well late, and everybody were out because of World Cup.
I'm surprised people haven't told him to send Dubbit at left hand side yet.
Oh shit! Here. There you go. Yes, man. So yeah, I definitely think that is a good shout. Thank you for your question, Jess. I really appreciate that. If anybody else has any questions,
just ask away. Please
feel free. We honestly would really love to hear your questions. I've always maintained I'd never try harder drugs, Jess says, even as a teen. So I don't think I would have. I don't think it would have made me try it, even if it was legal. Yeah, right. Like. I think a lot of people would fall into that category too. Like, I really do. Thank you for your input also. I appreciate that. Again, if anybody else has got any thoughts or input, please feel free to fire away in the comments. I would love to hear what you've got to say on the matter. I do think that, you know, like addiction and stuff, it's a very complicated thing, and I think it's really dangerous just to sort of let people go off into their own world. Like, that's kind of what they do though right now. You know, if you've got a crack cocaine addiction, you know, there's nothing you can do. If you've got a heroin addiction, you can do stuff. Like, there is things, you know, you can go and get on medication and stuff. Like, that's great. I think that is something that our country has really got down to a T. They've got it worked out. I went through that system myself, and I can wholeheartedly say it saved my fucking life. Yeah. I do whinge about how long it took, but at the end of the day, it don't matter. I got there at the end of the day, you know, really. So yeah, medication is very important. It was vital to my recovery, I would have said. Aaron's definitely very different in that sense. You've never been on medication for anything, have you?
No.
I'm even on antidepressants right now.
Yeah, I'm on medication like that. But otherwise, I'd struggle even more to sleep. But, you know what I mean?
See, this is one thing that me and Aaron have also got in common, which I think also does link to addiction and stuff. Like, we've both got a long history of mental health issues. So I think that is also something that plays a part. Yeah. Like, you know, I don't know. I've always felt like there were these meltdowns and shit that I've had over years were all leading up to me, you know, doing something fucking big and ridiculous, like taking smack. When I really look at it objectively, because I really couldn't handle stress. I didn't know how to deal with it really. I don't know. How about you? What could you like effectively deal with stress?
Not now, I can't. It's hard.
Still not now. Even like I mean, stress is really difficult to deal with, and I think that is a massive sort of trigger and a path towards addiction. So you've really got to, I think, be very wary. I think if you take anything away from the story is that it can therefore happen to anybody. Like, I can say Aaron, I never thought Aaron would take something like crack or heroin or anything. And I don't think I would have done that kind of stuff before doing it, you know. So it can really happen to anyone. I mean, we're nothing special, obviously, but it genuinely can happen to anyone. But yeah, I think that'll be the end of the addiction recording, the addiction talk. I mean, if you've got any questions though, I'll give it another couple of minutes and just wait and see if anybody's got any final thoughts. See if Aaron's got any final words, final thoughts.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
We're going to still continue streaming. This is just going to be a recording that I'm going to put on YouTube. So I guess if you've watched this all the way to the end, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I've watched some other videos or some shit, I guess. Oh, no, I'm not going to do this YouTuber thing. But my camera quality has been absolutely garbage today. It looks like we're in heaven or something. I've seen that.
I know.
How holy it looks. It looks like we're in some kind of green screen world.
It's kind of good though, actually.
I'm actually like not too pissed off about it, to be honest.
It's alright, isn't it?
Don't look too bad. But yeah, I'm sorry about the background there. I hope that's been somewhat educational, somewhat entertaining. YouTubers, if you've got any comments, I will get to them all. So yeah, for sure. Leave some comments if you've got any questions or anything like that. Lena, thank you for your comment. Lena says, I just want to say that you are both strong and brave for overcoming an addiction. Stay strong.
Yeah, well,
thank you, Lena. Thank you. Same goes to anyone as well. I think that does extend to anybody and everybody out there.
If the person's watching who were on Reddit earlier, who were on about his addiction, then he can come through it as well. You know?
And yeah, that goes out to anybody that might be watching this right now that's struggling with addiction. You can get through it. You can. It does take a lot. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not easy. It does take a lot. But, I mean, you really got to kind of dig deep, aren't you, in those moments and really try and just take a step back. I guess we could end by talking about a few things that we've done and maybe picked up, do you think? I mean, if you picked up some maybe tips and tricks that you could end on that, you know, maybe sort of helps you out to deal with stress, or, I mean, you're not really conceptualising
I'm not really, like, I need that advice myself, so I can't really give it, you know what I mean?
Honest, thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Well, fair enough. I mean, okay, so I guess I'm speaking to you and maybe anybody else that's listening, but a few things that definitely helped me was connecting with people. Aaron having a friend with me, having you lovely people here, being able to create on YouTube and putting my time into things that I kind of just like at least feel a little bit proud about, even if it's shit and my videos are crap. I still sit back at the end and think, well, I made that.
Well, at least you did it, yeah.
At least I fucking did it, yeah, you know, that, like, whatever, you know. But you know, things like mindfulness as well are always really helpful. You know, just trying to stay objective, trying to take that step back for a moment, really try look at yourself, look at your life, see what your end game is with the current sort of path that you're on. Try and, I don't know, it's really hard to say because you obviously, it's one of those things when you're in the moment you are kind of lost a little, but
yeah,
it kind of does really help to just try and just be mindful, I suppose, in a sense. But again, if you've got any questions, please feel free to fire them at me. I mean, we'd love to do a follow-up to this maybe one day if we get any questions. But okay, that's going to be the end of the recording. Thank you everybody that has been here in the recording. If you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. So thank you very kindly. Come see us on Twitch if you would like to hear some more of our rambles. We're gonna what we're going to talk about next, we're going to go on a ramble for a bit.
Oh yeah,
I'm going for a little ramble for a bit. But yeah, so thank you for watching. Peace.